actually be going inside of the socket itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little slit here, like a hole. You want to make sure that you don't cut all the way through, so a pinch. Make a little slit. And I'm just going to cut the circle the size of the mouth that I want. So this can be something small, it can be something large. I want it to have the same width on both sides here, so it doesn't look off center. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle, you can do an oval. It's just freehand. I'm going to put my hand back in here and see if I want to make this larger, if I feel like that's good enough. So that would be, when I open it, it would go inside, it'll look like the mouth goes deeper down, more realistic. So I have that. So I'm going to take some soft felt, the color of whatever I want the inside of my mouth to be. So we'll go with a traditional red. So this is soft, it's more flexible. You can also do just fabric itself. It doesn't have to be a felt. This is a thicker felt. It makes it a little bit more structural. So I'm going to kind of eyeball a little bit larger circle than this, right? Because I want to go deep down. So I'm going to just make one large circle here. And I'm just eyeballing it. It's not a perfect circle. But it is large enough to where it covers the whole thing, and you have extra on the sides because some seam allowance. The next step is sewing it on. You don't want to just sew it on like this. You want to have it to where our seams, when they're sewn, it's flipped over. We have a nice clean edge here. So we're going to just flip this inside out. So my sock is inside out now, and my felted piece is on the inside here. You can use pins to kind of pin this together if you want, if that helps. I'm going to show you how to do some stay stitches. So any thread and needle. So I have both of my ends here. I'm going to thread the needle through one of these ends. If you have trouble doing this, you can get this wet with your mouth and it will slide through. You want to hold it pretty close to your fingertips there so it holds it in place. And then you're just going to slightly kind of move that needle on top and down. And then grab hold of it. So that's threaded on there. I'm just going to pull this till it's in the middle. So it's doubled up. And then you have your two strings here. You're going to take these, wrap them around your finger, and then just kind of roll. If your finger is wet, it works a little bit better if you lick it or put some water on it. You're get a knot. If you're having trouble doing that, you can just take the two threads and do a little twist and a normal knot like so. That will work as well.
So then I'm going to line this up edge to edge. And I'm going to come through about 1/4 of an inch. Seam allowance there. You don't want to do it right at the edge. We're going to pull that thread through. And then right before you get to where your knot is, so there's my second knot that I made. I'm going to go between those two threads. So I'm going to go right through them, kind of catch them. I'm going to cut off that extra knot that I did. We don't need. I'm just going to do that again. So I'm just pulling that thread over. So it loops it around and creates a nice little stable stitch. Do it again. I'm going to do this in 4 other areas before I kind of start to do the stitching around. Don't worry if it doesn't look pretty. You're not going to see this. This is the inside of the sock.
You also want to make sure that you don't create too wide of a stitch. So you want your stitches to be pretty close together. About that 4 or 1/8 of an inch is good. Same thing for your seam allowance. Okay, so my mouth should come kind of curve inwards a little bit more. Depending on how deep you want it, you can, instead of cutting out a circle, you can do more of like a smaller circle with a larger piece of fabric. But I can kind of show you how to ease that into it. So you have a nice clean edge here. So I used a darker stitching so you can see the contrast. And when you do get up close and kind of pull it, you do see that color. So whatever color your sock is, you might want to match that thread too. But there's my little mouth.